Andre Lunin in goal. Trent Alexander returns at centre half, as does right back, with Antonio Rudiger restored at centre half alongside Eder Militao, and Ferland Mendy comes in to be a third left back in 3 games. Last week, Alvaro Carreras was given the run around by Michael Elise, so he drops to the bench today, as Fran Garcia did not do enough in the 1-1 draw with Girona at the weekend to keep his place in the side. Fede Valverde, the captain of Real Madrid, as the players gather in memory of the Real Madrid great Jose Emiliano Santamaria before the start of this one. Federico Valverde wearing the captain's armband tonight, one of the real ever-presence and real bright sparks for Alvaro Arbeloa's men. Starts on the right of midfield. On the left, that midfield is Brahim Diaz, with Arda Güler and Jude Bellingham in the middle. Bellingham, who was a late sub last week, he starts in place of the suspended Aurelien Tchouameni. And then up front too, of course, it's Vinícius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe. So we're almost ready to get going here in Bavaria. And as Bayern also will look to avoid defeat here in the last 8. Both these sides knocked out in the quarterfinals last year. Madrid, of course, by Arsenal, 5-1 on aggregate, and Bayern losing 4-3 on aggregate to eventual finalists Inter in what has been their only home Champions League defeat in their last 28 here at the Allianz Arena. Real Madrid with a final huddle, with a rocking atmosphere as there always is here at the Allianz Arena. Harry Kane, of course, among the goals last week, very much wrapped in cotton wool by Vincent Kompany after picking up a bit of a knock on training camp with England. Rested completely at the weekend and put back into the starting lineup today. So it'll be the hosts getting us underway. A referee from Slovenia this evening, Mr. Slavko Vincic. His first time refereeing Bayern Munich this season, his third time refereeing Real Madrid. They'll be comforted to note that their last 2 were 1-0 winner of Juventus in the league phase and the 2-1 home win in the playoff round against Benfica. As we're underway, long ball through the middle there, and Trent Alexander-Arnold will see that one back into the gloves of Andre Lunin, under pressure from his former Liverpool teammate Luis Diaz. Lunin all in light blue. As we mentioned, the 2 teams are also in their traditional colours. Bayern in all red with a bit of a white trim on it, and Real Madrid in all white with a black and gold trim on theirs. Back now with Manuel Neuer. Comes out to the edge of his box. He so often does. He's given away Neuer. It's hit back towards the goal. It's in! I don't believe it! 40 seconds in, Arda Güler has sent it back into the empty net, and Real Madrid are level. A disaster from Manuel Neuer, one of the great goalkeepers with the ball at his feet, but he has gifted that one straight to Arda Güler, who sends it back from whence it came and into the empty net. And after less than a minute, Real Madrid are back on level terms in this tie. Can you believe it? Manuel Neuer with an absolute disaster early in this one. The last time these 2 sides met before this year was the 2024 semi-final, where of course Joselu scored that double at the Bernabeu to send Real Madrid to the final and eventually winning it. It was a Manuel Neuer error that gave him the winner that night, and it is the Manuel Neuer error now has gifted Arda Güler the opener tonight after 40 seconds and has levelled this tie. I don't know who he's aiming for, to be honest, Neuer. I have to say though, despite the fact the goal was gaping, that is a brilliant finish from Arda Güler to keep his calm, to hold his nerve. He's finished that from all about 30, maybe 35 yards. And Real Madrid are level. A stunning start here at the Allianz Arena. And it's Arda Güler who is now just giving the international footballing hand symbol for let's all calm down. Easy for him to say. Those Real Madrid fans high up in the gods here at the Allianz Arena, well, they are loving this one. The home fans silenced early on. And I mean, if Alvaro Arbeloa had been given one wish, if he had a genie had come to him last night and said you've got one wish, it would have been for an early goal. But I'm not even sure he could have wished for such an early goal. Here they come again. Mbappe, right corner of the penalty area. Those Bayern fans still waving their flag, making plenty of noise behind the goal that Manuel Neuer occupies. But he has gifted an early goal to Arda Güler. What a finish it was by the Turkish international. Like I said, it's an open goal, yes, but to keep his calm when the ball is presented to you so early in the game, you're not expecting it, and to send it back with interest first time into the net. Incredible. Of all the goalkeepers in the world, I was just about to say, just as he made the pass, that the sweeper keeper, Manuel Neuer, and that is so unlike him. 40 years of age, the Bayern Munich captain now, but still is, well, you say, one of the top goalkeepers in the world, one of the most rock-solid custodians in goal that there is in world football still. Coming to the end of his contract, coming to the end of the season, still no word on whether he'll stay next season. I mean, the talk is that he will play another year at least here for Bayern. But he has made a calamitous error early in this one. Here's Pavlovic on halfway for Bayern, out on the left flank for Diaz, midway inside the Real Madrid half. He plays loose pass, gives it away to Arda Güler, but he's about 60 yards from goal this time. He can't shoot, but he gives it to Vinícius Jr., who's going to make headway into the Bayern Munich half. Left hand side here for Vinícius, approaching the penalty area. Tries to play a pass through, too many red shirts in the way, and away with it comes Upamecano for Bayern Munich, who are surely shell-shocked here. Upamecano continues to run down the wing, looking for either Olise or Diaz, but Eder Militao calmly cuts that one out and finds his captain here, Federico Valverde. Great turn there from Brahim Diaz, good strength. He's claiming he was maybe caught with a stray arm there by Konrad Leimer, and Slavko Vincic agrees with him. So as we hit the 5-minute mark here at the Allianz Arena, it's a free kick. I think it's a little soft in my book, but hey, I'm not the referee. And Leimer penalised for the free kick, which Real Madrid will take and just choose to go backwards with it to keep possession here with Antonio Rudiger midway inside his own half. Goes back to Lunin on the edge of the box. Thibaut Courtois still out with a thigh injury. Real Madrid's Belgian goalkeeper, but goodness me, Andre Lunin must be one of the top second choice goalies, quote unquote, in world football. Kimmich now comes forward, clips over the top wing for Gnabry. Good header by Militao. Valverde, though, a strange header, gets it on to Diaz, who gets the better of Trent Alexander-Arnold, gets to the byline. Diaz still going, cuts back. Diaz still twisting, turning, keeps it in. Corner kick off his former Liverpool teammate, and Diaz tries to rile those Bayern fans up. It's the first chance they've had to cheer all night. They've been stunned as well. And Vincent Kompany will take a seat on the bench and rather aggressively opens the water bottle. That poor water bottle, I think, feeling the wrath of Vincent Kompany's frustrations there. Just a complete calamity from Manuel Neuer, if you're just joining us. Gifting possession to Arda Güler to finish in the open goal after just 40 seconds. Here's Joshua Kimmich, take a right-footed in-swinging corner for Bayern. It's a good delivery. Oh, it's gone in! It's all the way in! It's level! I don't know who's going to touch on that one, whether Pavlovic is claiming something or whether it's gone straight in off Kimmich. But after 6 minutes, Bayern are level again and ahead on the night. And what a thriller we have in store here at the Allianz Arena. Real Madrid with the early advantage, cancelled out by Alexander Pavlovic, who has glanced home Joshua Kimmich's corner, the first corner of the night, and the Allianz Arena explodes into life. Andre Lunin stands looking crestfallen. I need to have another look at that one. There's so many bodies in here. It comes from Kimmich, and Lunin has somehow ended up in the back of his own net. I don't know whether he's got a push or what's happened there. He got nowhere near it, Lunin. Nowhere near it at all. Pavlovic hasn't moved. Pavlovic is basically standing on the goal line. There's no foul at all. Lunin just not strong enough. And Pavlovic effectively just has to let it hit him. He does glance it in, but he's standing right on the goal line. I think Kimmich's corner might have gone in anyway without him, but he has the goal. And now after 7 minutes, it's Bayern Munich 1, Real Madrid 1 on the night, 3-2. Bayern back in front on aggregate. Well, Alvaro Arbeloa would have wanted that early goal, and then he would have wanted his team to kick on, but instead they have found themselves back where they were just 7 minutes ago at the start of this one. But what a game we have in our hands here. Two European and world football heavyweights just going at it, toe to toe, hammer and tong. This is what it's all about, folks. Here's Upamecano down the right hand touchline for Bayern. It's Olise now, man, as I mentioned at the start, gave Alvaro Carreras the absolute runaround at the Bernabeu last week. In fairness to Carreras, he's not the first, nor will he be the last full-back to suffer that treatment from Olise. Here's Diaz now, left corner of the penalty area. Really the man who sort of, you have to say, probably goes under the radar in this Bayern front three. Kimmich, looking for Olise, well read this time by Mendy. Mendy looks for Vinícius, but Upamecano steps right up into midway inside. Real Madrid have to win that one. Vinícius has clattered into Kimmich and then pushes him to make sure he stays down. Referee sees that, but Bayern still have the ball, so advantage played. And I would imagine a warning at least might be coming Vinícius' way when play stops. Elise now, right corner of the penalty, headset, straight off the face of Rudiger. He falls down, he's back to his feet, that's going to hurt. But now it's back with Elise on the right hand corner of the penalty area. Deep cross, Diaz keeps it in, flicks it back, but Lunin will pluck it out of the air. And he thinks about going for it now for Real Madrid. And now, as I mentioned, I think Slavko Vincic is going to have a word here at least with Vinícius Jr., if not more. He summons the Brazilian over here. He fouled Kimmich initially, and then as Kimmich tried to get up, he pushed him back to the ground. And it's just going to be a stern talking to and no more for Vinícius Jr., but I would imagine that will be the last transgression he's allowed this evening before he would get booked. So Vinícius sternly told off. Pavlovic now brings one down out the sky. Kimmich, Bayern they've certainly put that early gaff by Manuel Neuer in their rear view mirror, and they're starting to ramp up through the gears here. Olise, midway inside the Real Madrid half. He floats around with the ball at his feet, Michael Olise. He was always of course a well thought of player at Crystal Palace, but he has really just upped his game to a whole new level at Bayern Munich, particularly this season. He's a joy to watch. Now Pavlovic on halfway, the goal scorer for Bayern Munich, who cancelled out Arda Güller's opener after his 40 seconds that came via Manuel Neuer, a howler. And while it maybe isn't a howler quite as obvious as that one, Andre Lunin certainly did not cover himself in glory for the Bayern goal. Not strong enough, and Pavlovic just nodding home from almost a yard out. Olise wins it back on the right for Bayern. Kimmich under pressure from the goal scorer Güller, so he'll go all the way back to Neuer. Now, first time he's really had the ball at his feet since then, and this time he thinks more of it and just booms that one forward up over halfway. Rudiger heads it back from whence it came. Kimmich, was that a hand? No. Here's Leimer now. Serge Gnabry, who really has been playing some of the best football of his career, he said recently. So playing in that hole behind that front three, getting plenty of possession from Pavlovic and Kimmich behind him. Here's Ta. Now to Kimmich. Leimer. Diaz. Kimmich back out to Diaz on that left flank now, faced up by Alexander Arnold, so he goes back inside to Kimmich and now back to the halfway line, the centre circle for Ta. Now Upamecano back in the side today in place of Kim Min-jae from the weekend. Kim and Ito were the centre halves at the weekend, both on the bench tonight, with Upamecano and Ta back in that starting 11. Gnabry, lovely touch for Olise, who then gives it back to the former Arsenal and, of course, West Bromwich Albion man, Serge Gnabry. Joshua Kimmich clips one out on the left flank beautifully. Heavy touch of it from Diaz, and Alexander Arnold can get a foot in, but it's Bayern coming right back at them here. 11 minutes gone at the Allianz Arena. You're seeing the live Champions League quarter-final second leg action with me, Mark Strange, here. Live on Flash Score Official. Bayern Munich 1, Real Madrid 1. 3-2 to the hosts on aggregate as Kane now comes towards a penalty. Has Valverde with him. So he goes back to Leimer. And now Pavlovic, the goal scorer for Bayern after Güller's opener after less than a minute for Real Madrid. Here's Ta. Olise. Olise over the top looking for Diaz, but too much sauce on it. All run through for Lunin, the Ukrainian in goal for Real Madrid. I mentioned perhaps a bit of a commentator's curse, a bit of a mini commentator's curse there on Andre Lunin. How he has been a more than capable backup for the injured Thibaut Courtois this season. Well, certainly he'll not want to see that one again either. So both goalkeepers with certainly a couple of video nasties for the goals, but this tie still very much in the balance. Real Madrid not out of this one by any stretch of the imagination. Bayern Munich have a corner now. 13 minutes gone. And the last time this happened, Andre Lunin far too weak on it. So it's going to be Kimmich again to deliver a right-footed in-swing corner for Bayern Munich. Right arm in the air, here it comes. Kimmich right in on top of everybody. Good header away this time, I think by Rudiger. Kept in by Tau, or was it? No, it's actually a goal kick, and well, that's a little bit silly there from Upamecano and Eder Militao. Two of them just coming a little bit head to head where they don't need to at all. Free kick taken short by Lunin to Militao. Here come Bayern forward again with Elise now. Right corner of the penalty. Elise into Diaz. Risky challenge from Eder Militao. I think he's won the ball there, the Brazilian, to his credit. That could have gone wrong. I think he's holding a hand up there to say sorry that he even got that far, that he had to make a challenge. Here's Kimmich now. Delivers one in. Gnabry lays it out for Diaz over the top. Tipped over in the end by Lunin. Eder Militao. So I think there's a free kick being given there. That challenge he made previously and Luis Diaz was a really risky one, you have to say, from Eder Militao. He has won a free kick this time, but two-footed sliding tackle from the Brazilian. Now Lunin will just take this free kick from about 10 yards in front of his own goal. Send everybody forward, so he's going to get this one as far away from his own net as possible. Probably not a bad idea from the Real Madrid goalkeeper there. Mbappe challenges Pavlovic, but goes over both of them, but Ta will beat Diaz, Brahim Diaz that is, to this ball. Apologies, folks, a bit of a technical error on my side there, but we're back here now. I haven't missed anything, don't worry. Still, Real Madrid 1, Bayern Munich 1 here at the Allianz Arena after a, quite frankly, ludicrous start to this game, where Manuel Neuer gave the ball away after just 40 seconds, and Arda Güler finished into the empty net. It's cancelled out just 5 minutes later by Alexander Pavlovic. He's on the ball now, midway inside the Real Madrid half. Finds Josip Stanisic. Now Elise, right corner of the penalty. Elise faced up by Mendy, his international teammate. Elise tips one to the back post, looking for Kane. Good hit away by Alexander Arnold. Now Bellingham will hammer that one away. The three Englishmen very much involved there. Thomas Tuchel, I'm sure, will be watching this one with interest. Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane both restored back to their respective starting lineups after a bit of a spell out with injury. Neuer under pressure from Vinícius, but gets it away to Upamecano. Gnabry, that's risky with Bellingham around him. Kimmich back to Upamecano. He's deep in almost a right back role there in the corner. Gets it forward, intercepted by Rudiger. Now Valverde, good ball behind for Mbappe, from a narrow angle, just wide. Kylian Mbappe, first time we've really seen him let loose 18 minutes in. It was Arda Güler who slid that one in behind. Mbappe getting in between Kimmich and Tal there. Just from a narrow angle, couldn't divert his effort on target. Here's Joshua Kimmich on halfway now for Bayern. I thought initially their equaliser, it might have been his corner, it went all the way in, but Alexander Pavlovic on the ball now, getting a touch on it from a couple of yards out to divert it home. Here's Luis Diaz on the left touchline, midway inside the Real Madrid half. Pavlovic again. Kimmich back to Pavlovic. Now Upamecano. Striding forward. Gets it back off Gnabry. And goes back to Gnabry almost on halfway. And then finds Elise midway inside the Real Madrid half. With a pocket of space. Real Madrid can't afford to do that. Pavlovic. On the left touchline, Luis Diaz. There's loads of room out there. In line with the edge, 18-yard box. Couple of yards in off the touchline. Faced up by his namesake Brahim. And he goes past him. Luis Diaz cuts it back. Intercepted well by Alexander Arnold. And then Luis Diaz, I thought he fouled Brahim Diaz there, but not even an advantage play by Slavko Vincic. But Real Madrid will come away with it here with Mbappe in the centre circle. Valverde. Bellingham. Valverde. On the left flank for Vinícius, in behind for Mbappe. Big chance, Kylian Mbappe. What a challenge. Konrad Laimer. Massive tackle there by the Austrian international. I think he's actually won a goal kick out of it too. Mbappe getting in behind again, though this time in between Ta and Laimer, but Laimer coming back across and making a crucial interception. Indeed, it is a goal kick, which has now been taken as far as Upamecano. But that's twice now in quick succession. Kylian Mbappe has sprung the offside trap and used his pace to get in behind this Real Madrid defence, or this Bayern Munich defence, sorry. That is something that they will have to keep an eye on for the rest of this one. 20 minutes gone here at the Allianz Arena. You're listening to live Champions League quarter-final second leg action. Bayern Munich 1, Real Madrid 1, 3-2 to Bayern Munich on aggregate after two early goals in this one. And we have had a real stormer here at the Allianz Arena. Vinícius Jr. taking on Upamecano. And he's going to beat Upamecano. Gets past him. Vinícius Jr. still going to the byline. Upamecano recovers so well. Beaten initially there by Vinícius, but the big French defender gets back and robs the Brazilian, mercurial Brazilian in the box. But that's a giveaway from Bayern. It's going to throw in the Real Madrid on the left on halfway. He never gave up on that one. It's not quite a slide tackle. He just sort of gets down on one knee and hooks a leg around it, and he celebrates as if he was the man who just scored. But just as important for a centre half. And then before that, it was a challenge from Konrad Laimer denying Kylian Mbappe. It was a goal kick, but maybe you see it again there. I'm not so sure. Maybe the last touch might well have come off Konrad Laimer, but that's by the by now. That's going to be a throw in now to Bayern Munich. I thought it was a Real Madrid throw in. The last touch has come off a white shirt. There's Mendy on halfway from Real Madrid. Cuts inside nicely and finds Valverde inside his own half. Now Alexander Arnold. There's a real feeling of a big Champions League night here at the Allianz Arena. Two European and world footballing heavyweights with 21 European Cup or Champions League titles between them. There's Real Madrid with 15, Bayern with 6. Real Madrid most recently in 2024 when they beat Bayern in the semi-finals, and then went on to beat other German opposition, Borussia Dortmund at Wembley in the final. And Bayern, their last win coming in 2020 with a 1-0 victory over Paris Saint-Germain. And there's many thinking that well could be the final this year. The reigning champions, PSG. Oh, lovely bit of skill there from Mendy to beat Stanisic, who just was a little bit too keen to get close to the French fullback. And now there's Mbappe, and Mendy's getting forward into the box here. Ferland Mendy. Ta has closed him down. Ooh, Mendy's turned, and him and Ta both went to the ground, but immediately Slavko Vincic puts the arms out and says no penalty. And Bayern on the counter here with Harry Kane. Kane attacking Eder Militao, looking for support. He does really well to find Diaz. Gnabry surging through the middle, but Diaz will find Olise, who stumbles a little bit, but beats Vinícius, who's coming back to help out the defence. Kane now in the right corner of the penalty area for Bayern. Plenty of white shirts back, but Kane will win a corner off of Antonio Rudiger. So it's a Bayern corner. We'll get another look at this one here between Tah and Mendy. Oh, I think Jonathan Tah's a lucky boy there. I really do. He's got his arms around the waist of Ferland Mendy, who hits the deck and looks for a penalty, but I'm not even sure there's even a belated VAR check for this one. There's going to be a corner. There's going to be a left-footed in-swinger from Michael Olise here. Going to be a real blow for Real Madrid if Bayern were to score here, particularly after that no corner. Oh, it's a quick corner taken for Kane. Well read, and it's back in by Kimmich, blocked again by Mendy, and it'll spin away from a corner on the far side. Olise will take it again, and he gets his Bayern fans going there. That was a clever one there. Well read by the Madrid defence, but Bayern will have another go here. Olise has Kimmich coming short. Vinícius has trotted over to try and stop that damage, and it comes here right in on top of the goalkeeper again, away by Eder Militao, and then hammered further clear by Brahim Diaz. Vinícius tried to bring it down but can't do so. It's a throw in on the Bayern right here. It's taken by Olise. Now it's back with Kimmich in the centre circle. Kimmich to Upamecano. Kimmich arrows one out on the left touchline for Luis Diaz. Diaz faced up by Alexander Arnold. Right corner of the penalty area. Diaz, and there's a really late offside flag there, to which Luis Diaz wags a disapproving finger at the referee, but offside indeed he was. Here's Luis Diaz, left corner of the penalty area. Diaz to Kimmich. Right on the right hand side of the penalty area for Olise. Faced up by Ferland Mendy. Right corner of the penalty area. Olise on his left foot. Hits one, deflected, loops over another corner for Bayern. This one from the far side. As we hit the 25-minute mark here. Bayern Munich 1. Real Madrid 1. Now it's going to be Kimmich, a right-footed in-swinger from him. It's another really good one deep in there. Lunin falls again, the ball bobbling around in there, and it's going to be a corner on the other side now for Bayern. Andre Lunin, he was out-muscled for the Bayern Munich goal, and again they're struggling to get through the crowd. He flails at that one, and then at the back post, the last touch comes off Jude Bellingham, so a corner the far side now for Bayern Munich, which is taken short this time. Kimmich to Olise. Now right corner of the penalty area. Now Leimer. Olise and Leimer, the edge 18-yard box on the right flank. Faced up by Mbappe. Oh, looks and finds Kimmich in a bit of pocket of space. Kimmich hits one. Oh, what a save by Lunin. Tipped that one round the post. Joshua Kimmich using the players in front of the net, almost like ice hockey style, as a bit of a screen from the goalkeeper. He curled it just around, and Lunin had to dive low to his right to tip that one round the post. I think it's Vinícius Jr. falls asleep there a little bit. I think he's supposed to be the man tracking Joshua Kimmich, but he allows the experienced midfielder just to drop into a pocket of space on the right hand side of the penalty area, and he cut into his left foot, and it's tipped around the corner. Now the 7th corner of the night for Bayern coming up, which Kimmich himself will take. Right for in swinger, right in the top of the keeper again. This time it's a good clearing header by Eder Militao. Mbappe now to Güler. Real Madrid look to counter. Güler finds Brahim Diaz. That's Vinícius ahead of him to his left. Use them. Real Madrid midway inside the Bayern half, approaching the penalty area. Vinícius in the back post, looking for Mbappe, and it's well away by Neuer, but Mbappe will get to the right hand corner of the penalty area. Hooks it back in, headed away by Pavlovic. Now Vinícius is at it now, left hand side, around 25 yards from goal, approaching the box. Vinícius finds Diaz. Diaz was clipped there by Leimer. He was. That's a dangerous looking free kick. Konrad Leimer can't quite believe it, but Slavko Vincic points for the free kick. Despite the Austrians' protest there, we'll have another look at this one. Yeah, he certainly does catch Brahim Diaz. It's a silly one though from Leimer because Diaz was going away from goal. Looked like he was going to be running out of ideas, and now Leimer couldn't help himself. And now there's a really dangerous spot for a free kick here. About 25 yards from goal, ever so slightly right of centre, maybe roughly in line with the post. Manuel Neuer's left post. As Leimer and Brahim Diaz continue to discuss the merits of that free kick, but Manuel Neuer organising his wall here. Now it's going to be either the left foot of Arda Güler or the right foot of Trent Alexander-Arnold to hit this one. It's a 5-man Bayern Munich wall. Referee was whistle. Güler left-footed over the wall into the top corner. Arda Güler's done it again. That's a stunner from Arda Güler. And Real Madrid are level in aggregate again. A left-footed free kick that Neuer got a hand to, but he couldn't keep it out. That is inch perfect from Arda Güler, and Real Madrid lead again on the night and are level again on aggregate as this stunning tie seesaws yet again. What a strike from Arda Güler. It's not a simple one. He gets it up and over the wall and down enough. Maybe again will Neuer be a bit disappointed with himself, I don't know. He gets a hand to it but can only palm it into the side of the net, and Arda Güler has single-handedly dragged Real Madrid right back into this tie. He was the one, after just 40 seconds, that capitalised on Neuer's loose pass and sent it back into the empty net. And now on the half-hour mark, he has curled a stunning left-footed free kick into the top corner here at the Allianz Arena. Bayern Munich 1, Real Madrid 2 on the night, and it is 3-3 on aggregate. We are in for a real thriller tonight, folks. What a game this has been. And we're only half an hour into it. It's the best bit of it. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Back underway here. As Vincent Kompany stands, arms folded. His now trademark black cap on his head. He is not looking happy. It has been the Arda Güler show tonight. Real Madrid have had to withstand some heavy pressure. I think they knew they would have to, but withstand it for the most part they have after Pavlovic's goal. But now with 31 minutes on the clock, it's bowling out. Oh, and Rudiger slips, so he just does enough to get away from Gnabry. But now Diaz, left corner of the penalty area, has Alexander-Arnold there with him. Now it's a Bayern throw in there after a challenge by Rudiger on Diaz. Leimer takes it back to Pavlovic. In the middle of Real Madrid half now is Ta. Upamecano in the centre circle. Stanisic, right hand side for Bayern. Getting forward has Elise ahead of him. Uses him right on the touchline. Michael Elise in line with the edge 18-yard box. Based up by his French international teammate Ferland Mendy. Cuts onto his left foot. Finds Kimmich in the edge of the box. He rolls it then to Leimer. Space, but he couldn't quite run on that one properly, so he just shuffles out the left for Diaz. Now Pavlovic again, around 25 yards from goal. He equalised once, he do it again. He chooses to clip it outright for Elise. Good ball, looking for Kane. Good header by Rudiger. That is superb from Antonio Rudiger. It's back now for Leimer, and that one just stays alive. Crunching tackle of Jude Bellingham on Luis Diaz. Then Leimer gets stuck into Valverde. Leimer's ended up on the ground. He's come off worse out of that, but Bellingham comes away for Real Madrid. And now Leimer's out of position down the right, and Brahim Diaz tries to come away. Great covering from Joshua Kimmich, who then will hook it back to Neuer. Under pressure, Mbappe sends it forward left-footed. No word yet on how Konrad Leimer is. He seems to be... Well, he's not back into play yet anyway. Konrad Laimer. Here he comes now. It was him who came crunching in the challenge on Valverde, but came off worse. Oh, ball in behind, looking for Mbappe. And again, his French teammate, Upamecano, intercepts. Goodness me, this has been scintillating stuff. I said earlier, it feels like a real heavyweight Champions League clash here. And boy, it has proven to be so. It is shaping up to be one of the all-time classic Champions League ties. Here's Vinícius now in the centre circle. He zooms away from Kimmich. And it cuts back inside Stanisic, but a good challenge from Pavlovic. And Bayern have it again on halfway with Harry Kane. Dropping deep as he so often does. Gets a nip. Harvey's head there, and perhaps a bit of, let's say, there. Now Mbappe, left corner of the penalty, has Vinícius ahead of him, but he's surrounded with red shirts. Mbappe, but he beats Upamecano, who stays with him. Now Vinícius into the box. Vinícius, another good challenge with Upamecano. And then Gnabry gets to it, but Stanisic has to clear. It's all a little bit messy. And in the end, it will take a deflection off a white shirt and a throw in for Bayern Munich on the right-hand side, midway inside their own half. Well, I was going to say we'll get a bit of a breather here, but not quite. Bayern are ready to go again. Here's Pavlovic. This game right in the balance. Diaz on the left. Bayern dominating possession and passes completed, but Real Madrid lead on the night thanks to Arda Güler. But he's got past, or Leimer's got past him. Leimer, ooh, that's a risky challenge from Eder Militao. Slavko Vincic doesn't give it though. Will VAR look at it? Not sure. Stanisic comes herring on to one into the box. Now Stanisic stings the palms of Lunin at the near post. Tries to get it in. Now he's claiming a handball. There's a couple of penalty claims here for Bayern Munich. They still have it now. At least they right corner of the penalty area. It plans one in deep for Diaz. Knocked down for Kane. He can't quite get a swing at it. He still has it though, Kane. Back to goal on the edge of the box. Now Leimer and Diaz. There's not really much room for a shot. There's plenty of white shirts back there. Now Ta gets to it midway inside the Real Madrid half. Kimmich. I don't know if maybe there's somebody in the VAR truck is having a look at a couple of those there. A couple of penalty claims for Bayern Munich. Here's Upamecano striding forward now, looking for Kane, finds Kane in the box. Kane! 2-2! And Bayern lead again. Of course it's Harry Kane. He buries it in the bottom corner. Who needs VAR when you've got Harry Kane? And Bayern lead again in aggregate. This game has had everything. It's a brilliant pass from Upamecano. but Harry Kane does the rest, as he so often does. He's in loads of space in the box, takes one touch with his left foot, sets it on his right, and buries it into the bottom corner. Nothing Andre Lunin could do, and it is Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 2, and it's the Allianz Arena has exploded into life again. What a game of football this is. I mentioned there not so long ago, this is shaping up to be an all-time Champions League classic. It surely has to be now. Kimmich out onto the right-hand side for Stanisic, brought down by Elise. It looked like things were petering out a little bit for Bayern, but Upamecano does brilliant work, gets away from Vinícius, and then just a combination of Eder Militao and Trent Alexander-Arnold. They just give Harry Kane too much space. I think Eder Militao gets distracted by a run from Luis Diaz. Whether that was meant as a dummy run or not, I don't know. It certainly served as one in the end. And then Kane, if you give him time in the penalty area to set himself, you know there's only going to be one answer. Lunin gambled and went towards his near post. Kane opened up his body and put it into the far corner. And Real Madrid find themselves behind again. And it's Harry Kane, the man who is chasing after the record for most Bayern Munich goals in a season. He is just a goal machine. England fans will love what they're seeing from Kane. Maybe not so from Trent Alexander-Arnold there. A bit of a double-edged sword as Bellingham now makes a good challenge on Diaz, and away he comes. He has a strong run from Bellingham. He has Alexander-Arnold just right if he uses him. Alexander-Arnold takes it up off him. Alexander-Arnold in the penalty area, cuts it back. Oh, just behind Mbappe, and Stanisic will clear at the back post and finds Harry Kane. Bellingham is running so hard there. He almost had Joshua Kimmich trailing off of him. And there's a foul now by Eder Militao high up the pitch on Harry Kane, right in front of the Bayern bench. And that's going to warrant a first yellow card of the night from Slavko Vincic. Not a really clever one there from Eder Militao. Maybe a hint of frustration. Harry Kane has stayed down off the pitch, and well, Bayern and England fans are hoping that's nothing more than just a knock. But Eder Militao certainly has clattered him there. A couple of steps away from the linesman. You're not going to get away with that one, no matter how much you protest. And on 40 minutes, Real Madrid's Brazilian centre-half gets the first yellow card of the night. And truthfully, we can take our first breather of the night. This has been incredible. Honestly, an incredible game of football here at the Allianz Arena. Harry Kane is back to his feet. You'll be glad to hear, Bayern and England fans and just general football fans, because goodness me, what a player he is. Kimmich now will take the free kick on the left-hand side, midway inside the Bayern half. Diaz is beaten in the air by Militao. Mbappe wins a good flick on for Diaz, who's going to send Vinícius Jr. on his bike here. Test the pace of Upamecano, and he beats him. Vinícius over the bar. I think that might have taken a flick off the bar on the way over from Vinícius Jr. He has a wry smile there. It was just a bit of a, I don't want to say hit and hope really from Brahim Diaz, but he punted that one down the middle. And Vinícius, indeed it does. It takes a nick, kisses the crossbar on the way over, almost in for another swing in this game. And now Real Madrid have it a game with Mbappe. Now Diaz on the edge of the box. He's forced out to the right corner there by Leimer. Diaz now doubled up by his namesake Luis and Leimer, and it's Bayern to come away with it on Luis Diaz from deep in the left back position. Gets away from Alexander-Arnold. Nice flick on from Kane to Elise. Oh, he gives it back. Well, lovely backheel. Bayern are still in their own half though, and Kane's the furthest man forward. Elise is making a run, but he's straight offside, so Kane will just keep it simple and find Stanisic. Now Upamecano on halfway. Stanisic goes over halfway now. Josip Stanisic finds Gnabry in a bit of space. Bit of a heavy touch, and Militao can just hammer that one away. Stanisic has gone down off the ball. Was he caught by Valverde? I didn't quite see that one, to be honest. I was focusing on the ball, but either way, he's out of position now, and Ta has had to come over here as Vinícius runs at him. Left corner of the penalty area. Mbappe's in here, 1-on-1. Mbappe scored! Mbappe for Real Madrid. It's 3-2, and it's 4-4 on aggregate. Kylian Mbappe sent down through the middle. Josip Stanisic is furious. He feels like he was fouled, but he was out of position. Vinícius, he pulled Ta all the way out to right back position, and that meant there was space down the middle for Mbappe. And much like Harry Kane, when Kylian Mbappe's in the box with space, 1-on-1 with the keeper, he just does not miss. And Real Madrid are 3-2 up here on the night, 4-4 on aggregate. Slavko Vincic is over checking now on Josip Stanisic. I didn't quite catch it. We'll see now. It might have been. Yeah, well, he gets a bit of a... It's not Valverde at all. It's actually Antonio Rudiger who gives the Croatian a bit of a bump. Vinícius is onside when the ball's played through to him by Valverde. And Mbappe is just busting a gut through the middle. When you see it again, just outpacing both Leimer and Upamecano to get on the end of that from Vinícius. He takes a lovely touch. Neuer comes out. Mbappe rolls it in between his legs into the net. And it's Real Madrid are 3-2 up here over Bayern Munich. We are witnessing an all-time Champions League classic here. And what a privilege it is to bring you this one. This has been an incredible first half of football. And it started from 40 seconds from Arda Güler giving Real Madrid the lead. And it has not let up since. The Allianz Arena is stunned again. Vincent Kompany is stunned again. He's actually been booked in the aftermath of it all, I'm assuming, for protesting the fact that there was no foul given against Rudiger. He almost just sort of steps across Josip Stanisic, and it's a risky one from the big German defender. And I'm wondering here, are we maybe going to have a VAR check on it? Mbappe was 15th goal in the Champions League this season. I mean, it's incredible. This is just his 11th match in the competition. I don't think we're going to have a VAR check, or if we did, it is over. And we're back underway. And indeed, it is Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 3 at the Allianz Arena. Rudiger wins the header. We'll see shortly what sort of added time we'll have. I just forgot that's even a thing. Ta wins the tackle that time above or ahead of Mbappe, but he gets it back now off of Diaz. Mbappe now, right-hand corner of the penalty. It finds Bellingham overlapping. Bellingham gets it in there. Vinícius was sliding in, but Neuer gloves that one up. And he'll just hold on to it for a bit before rolling out to Stanisic, who has had no ill effects from that being sandwiched between Rudiger and Valverde. It's had a risky one, and one that ultimately could have cost Real Madrid there from Antonio Rudiger, but not so. And now Pavlovic on halfway on the left is just standing in front of the fourth official, who is primed and ready to go with that board. We'll see what sort of added time we will have. It's going to be 2 minutes, just the 2 minutes at the end of this one. So we're into that now. I thought we might have had a little bit more than that, but it's just been such a breathless first half. Maybe even Slavko Vincic wants to get in for a sit down and a cup of tea. That's certainly what I'll be doing at half time. Try and catch my breath for what has been a truly stunning first half of football. We're not finished yet, though. There's Güler, who has played a massive part in that. He has scored 2 of the 3 Real Madrid goals here, both of them stunners, including one sending it back into the empty net from all 35 yards when Neuer gifted him the ball, and then curling a free kick into the top corner. Both of those occasions, Real Madrid are pegged back first by this man, Alexander Pavlovic, and then by Harry Kane. But Kylian Mbappe has them in front again. But there's still time here for Bayern to get another. Kimmich, good block by Bellingham. It's going to drop for Vinícius, but he's the furthest man forward for Real Madrid. He's not even as far as the centre circle, but he holds it up well and invites Brahim Diaz to come forward. But Pavlovic, strong challenge, just steps in front of the Moroccan international and sends it away. Brahim Diaz, who potentially might be one of the most relieved men in football history after that African Cup of Nations final result was overturned in Morocco's favour after his dreadful attempt at penalty. We all know what happened in that final, but certainly I'd imagine out of everyone in Morocco, he was the happiest and most relieved for that, as Lunin will just eat a few seconds by having the ball sit at his feet without picking it up. But Kane comes close to him, so he now does pick it up, and he's going to boom this one forward. He's getting counted down here by Slavko Vincic, so he does eventually hammer that one forward. We're risking a needless yellow card and a free kick. Sorry, a corner kick, my apologies. Leimer. Pavlovic hooks it out for a throw-in. Are Real Madrid going to have time to take it, or are they even really in a rush to take it, or will they be happy enough heading in at the break with 3-2 lead? Indeed they are. What a first half of football that we have had here at the Allianz Arena. Quite simply stunning from the word go. It's Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 3. The scoring got going after just 40 seconds when Manuel Neuer uncharacteristically gifted the ball to Arda Güler, who finished superbly from 35 yards. Alexander Pavlovic equalised 5 minutes later for Bayern Munich before Güler curled a free kick into the top corner on the half-hour mark. Harry Kane, of course, who else then equalised on the night for Bayern before Kylian Mbappe, just 3 minutes before the break, has Real Madrid back in front by 3-2. It has been a breathless first half. It has been a superb first half. So go and get yourself a cup of tea, have a rest. That's certainly what I'm going to do. And I'll see you again in about 15 minutes. Do not go anywhere for this second half. This has the makings, already has been a Champions League classic. And we've still got at least another 45 minutes to go. At halftime here at the Allianz Arena, it is Bayern Munich Breathtaking first period here at the Allianz Arena that sees the scoreline after 45 minutes. Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 3, 4-4 on aggregate between these two heavyweights of European football. Bayern making a change at half-time. Josip Stanisic is off and is replaced by the rapid Canadian international Alphonso Davies, which I would assume will mean that Konrad Laimer will switch from the left to the right, and that will put Davies on his preferred left side. We're just about ready to go here. Our referee from Slovenia, Mr. Slavko Vincic, just doing his last minute checks, making sure there's as many players on the pitch as should be. And a bit of a false start there from Kylian Mbappe. And again, now we get underway. Third time lucky. It's live Champions League quarter-final, second leg action here from the Allianz Arena. I'm Mark Strange, live for Flash Score Official. Bayern in their home strip, all red with the white trim. Real Madrid in all white with the black and gold trim. These two European and world football heavyweights with 21 European Cup / Champions League titles between them, battling for a place in the last 4 of this season's competition. Both of these sides actually crashed out at this stage last year. Bayern to eventual runners-up Inter, and Real Madrid to semi-finalist Arsenal. There's Davies immediately involved, cuts it back for Kane, intercepted by Rudiger. Now it's going to come for Luis Diaz, takes a deflection, and wide. That could have gone anywhere. Corner kick to Bayern, but goodness me, Diaz slipped as he hit it, but it took at least one deflection on the way through. Could have gone anywhere. Lunin was wrong-footed, but it slides wide of the post as Bayern attack the Sud Curva here at the Allianz Arena with it's just a sea of red and white flags and scarves and banners. An incredible sight, really. It's going to be Kimmich take a right-footed in-swing corner. They worked well for Bayern in the first half, but our referee has seen an issue here. It's with Harry Kane and Ferland Mendy in the middle. That'll give you a chance to run through the team's effort. So for Bayern, it's now Neuer, Laimer, Upamecano, Ta, Davies, Kimmich, Pavlovic, Gnabry, Diaz, Elise, Kane. And we're just about ready to go, so I'll get you the Real Madrid team in one moment here. It's going to be Kimmich to deliver this one, right-footed in-swinger from the experienced German international. And it comes a really good one on top of everybody again, and Upamecano was at the back post there, and he nods it over the bar in the end. Challenging for that one along with Jude Bellingham. And it was actually Bellingham who got the crucial touch to deflect that one behind. Initially, it really could have gone anywhere. The Real Madrid lineup then. In goal, it's Andre Lunin. Across the ice, Alexander-Arnold, Eder Militao, Rudiger, and Mendy. In midfield, Valverde, Bellingham, and Güler. And then up front, we have Diaz, Vinícius, and Mbappe. So the goal scorers in after just 40 seconds. Arda Güler, after a Manuel Neuer mistake, he curled it into the empty net from 35 yards. Alexander Pavlovic with a header from about a couple of yards out, equalising for Bayern just 5 minutes later, where Güler curled a free kick into the top corner on half-hour mark. Harry Kane cancelled it out again before Kylian Mbappe just before the break means Real Madrid lead on the night and are level on aggregate. That ball is going to bounce off a Bayern body and out for a goal kick. 3 minutes into the second half. We look at the bench then for both these sides. Alphonso Davies has come off one for Bayern. There's Jonas Rubik, Kim Min-jae, Leon Goretzka, Jamal Musiala, Nicholas Jackson, Hiroki Ito, Rafael Guerrero, and the 17-year-old Erblin Osmani, who'll be making a Bayern debut if they're to be entered in this one, although with such a high stakes, I'm not quite sure even Vincent Kompany, who has blooded a lot of youngsters this year for Bayern, would risk that one. And for Real Madrid, they have 2 goalkeepers bench, Fran and Javier Navarro. It's Dani Carvajal, David Alaba, Eduardo Camavinga, Gonzalo Garcia, Alvaro Carreras, Dani Ceballos, Fran Garcia, Dean Housen, Franco Mastrononto, and Thiago Pitars round out the bench. Pitars, who started in the first leg last week, just 19 years old. He's been a trustworthy man for Alvaro Arbeloa. The youngster Franco Mastantuono, the young Argentinian, very highly thought of by all round Real Madrid. There's an arrowed ball looking for Vinícius, not enough on it, and there is Leimer. And in the end, Mendy and Olise collide, the two Frenchmen. That's a free kick out for Bayern, just outside the penalty area. So, the other Champions League quarter-final this evening. Arsenal, who took a 1-0 lead from the first leg in Lisbon against Sporting. And it's currently goalless at the Emirates there, so still as you were at the start. And now there's one over the top looking for Luis Diaz, but well dealt with by Trent Alexander-Arnold. A loose one from Andre Lunin in the touch. Here's Joshua Kimmich. Last night, of course, saw Atletico Madrid go through at the expense of Barcelona, despite losing the second leg 2-1 at home. That's the second time they've dumped Barcelona out of a cup after losing the second leg. They did the same, of course, in the Copa del Rey semi-final. So Barcelona exiled to Liverpool, beaten 2-0 in the night, 4-0 in aggregate by PSG. Now here's Luis Diaz after Joshua Kimmich on the edge of the box. Gnabry left corner of the penalty area, 5 minutes into the second half. Something that was maybe a little bit lost in all the chaos in the first half. Bayern have continued their incredible record of scoring in every single game and every single competition this year. Here's Olise now. They'll need at least one more here if they don't want to have to take this one to extra time and penalties. Still plenty of time to avoid that though. Leimer in the corner there with Mendy, right in the corner flag. Leimer keeps it alive, as does Olise, who gets for Leimer to chase, but Gulape lurking, and Neuer has to come out midway inside his own half to rescue that one. Now here's Upamecano on the halfway line. Of course, Real Madrid missed out on the top 8 and had to go through the playoff round, and they defeated Benfica 4-1 on aggregate before a thumping 5-1 aggregate victory over Manchester City in the round of 16. Bayern, they ended up topping the Champions League phase, and in the round of 16 they cruised past Atalanta 10-2 on aggregate as Bellingham catches Pavlovic there. Free kick to the hosts on the left-hand touchline. Here's Kimmich again. Upamecano. Back off Leimer, midway inside the Real Madrid half. Certainly one thing Bayern will not do is panic. Here's Kane now. Under pressure from Eder Militao, who goes to ground holding his face, and, well, he's won himself a free kick there, and Real Madrid want to play it quickly, and Neuer came out of his box well, but Slavko Vincic is still diffusing the situation at the other end of the pitch that led to that free kick. Well, it was as Kane went down, his hand flicks up into the air and catches Eder Militao, but really there's not a lot in it, and Vincent Kompany with a wry smile on the touchline, he knows it. Although he surely would have been maybe looking for one of those as a defender, maybe not. As his opposite number, Alvaro Arbeloa. Bit of a he's been the interim since the short reign of Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid, taking over from his former Liverpool and Real Madrid teammate Xabi Alonso. Alvaro Arbeloa, and that's going to be a corner to Real Madrid here. Good work from Mbappe, and he's won that corner off of Alphonso Davies. He was quick to get back to Kylian Mbappe, but Mbappe clever just to flick the ball off of Davies and out for a corner kick. So Real Madrid 9 minutes in this second half here. And there's a plastic beer cup, it looks of it, is landing near the feet of Trent Alexander-Arnold. He waits to take this corner. He ignores it. Out swinger. Ooh, it comes off of Kane, could go anywhere. Pavlovic clears it from inside the 6-yard box. Now, Luis Diaz and Federico Valverde will challenge for it. And Real Madrid come away with it. Alexander Arnold, good ball in there to the back post. Oh, what a save by Neuer! What a ball that was from Alexander Arnold to find his England teammate Bellingham at the back post, who connected with an acrobatic volley, and Neuer with a great reaction save. Now Elise at the other end is going to try and take on Mendy down the right hand touchline. He's got Eder Militao over with him, but he'll play it inside for Kane, who looks to run a Gnabry, but well read by Valverde, who just sweeps it away from Gnabry. Now Bellingham, what a chance that was. Biggest one so far in the second half. That one's beaten Vinícius to sideline, surely. Looked like it. Play on, though. Arda Güler can't get around Pavlovic. And now here come Bayern with Diaz. Davies gets forward, left corner of the penalty area. Nearly overruns that one. Faced up by Alexander Arnold. Lays it inside to Kimmich now. He lays it off for Pavlovic. Thinks about finding Limer, but instead goes to Davies. Left hand side, roughly in line with the edge, 18-yard box. Davies, who will of course be representing his country, as they are one of the 3 host nations at the World Cup this summer. Elise, he'll be there, as will Konrad Limer. Pavlovic to Upamecano. Dinked over the top there from Elise, looking for Kane. A good header away by Militao. Bellingham can't get the loose ball, and will drop for Elise, around 25 yards from goal. Real tight confines here for Bayern. Pavlovic to Davies on the left. Diaz to Davies. The double threat there now on that left flank in this second half for Bayern. Ta finds Elise and back to Upamecano in the centre circle. Bayern keeping possession as we've now played 11 minutes in this second half. There's been no further goals after a breathtaking first half here at the Allianz Arena. That has a score: Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 3, 4-4 on aggregate. Elise to Kimmich. Kimmich over the top, and it's just going to be too long for Diaz and not long enough for Davies, and out of his goal comes Lunin to take that one. Güler through the middle for Mbappe. Nice. He's 1-on-2 here. He's got Vinícius to the left. He can find him. Mbappe doesn't look for him. He goes himself. He should have passed there. Tal blocks it up into the air. Diaz and Pavlovic challenge for a loose ball, and then it's headed away by Kimmich. Pounced upon though by Valverde, who shunts off Davies. And well, Alphonso Davies has had his injury problems of late, not long back with the most recent one, and he's down there again, and hopefully that's nothing too serious. For the Canadian. Real Madrid with that big chance early in the game from Kylian Mbappe. There's Eder Militao, who clears that one away from his own byline nearly, and out for a throw in the left. So now with Pavlovic in the centre circle for Bayern. Strides forward and finds Limer on the right hand side. Elise, faced up by Mendy, who's done a much better job tonight than Alvaro Carreras did last week at the Bernabeu in keeping Elise quiet. But that one's flicked out on the left for Davies. She is okay after that little knock. It's the whole of Canada breathes a collective sigh of relief there. There's Pavlovic to Kane. Forced out left there by Bellingham, so he goes back to Ta in the centre circle. He plays a 1-2 with Pavlovic. Good pressing from Real Madrid. Everyone in white behind the ball, and Güler has robbed Gnabry, but Ta robs Güler. And Gnabry has it back now in the centre circle. Kane dropping deep as he likes to do. Davies now out on the left. Approaching the left corner of the penalty. Alphonso Davies faced up by Alexander Arnold. Tries to get one in. It's blocked by Alexander Arnold, and Lunin will come out to make this the gather there. Now here comes Ferland Mendy in the centre circle. Mbappe, right corner in the penalty. A bit of space for Kylian Mbappe. That's the last thing you need. Mbappe, couple of step overs. Mbappe beats Ta, cuts it back, and a crucial interception from Davies with Diaz lurking behind him. That's a corner for Real Madrid on the hour mark here, and we're going to see Eduardo Camavinga introduced for Los Blancos here shortly. Alexander Arnold over to take that right-footed outswing corner again. He has Güler there as a short option, but he has to be more as a dummy than anything else. Luis Diaz is over to try and shut that one off anyway. Federico Valverde lurks with intent on the edge of the box. In it comes now, Alexander Arnold, outswinger, header from Eder Militao, and it'll just drop into the gloves of Manuel Neuer, who, that's a risky one from Kylian Mbappe. I think was trying to anticipate when Neuer was letting that ball go and put a high boot up there, but Slavko Vincic plays on. Gnabry, what a ball in the middle, just too long for Diaz. And Lunin comes out the edge of the box and puts it out for a throw in, and we're actually going to see a Bayern sub first before Real Madrid one. Going to be Jamal Musiala, and he's going to replace Serge Gnabry. So on the hour mark here, Bayern make a change, and I have to say Jamal Musiala really is one of my favourite players to watch. He's just a real magician with the ball at his feet. It's almost like the ball is attached to a piece of string when he runs with it. Of course, he suffered that horrific broken leg in the last summer in the Club World Cup quarter-final defeat to PSG, and has missed a good chunk of the start of this season and has been struggled to hold down a starting place since. But now we get that sub for Real Madrid. It's going to be Brahim Diaz removed for Eduardo Camavinga, so we'll see what way that changes things tactically for Real Madrid. Maybe push Güler out to more of a wide position and put Camavinga into the middle, we shall see, but that's certainly not like for like. So on the hour mark, a sub each for both these sides. For Bayern, it's Musiala on for Gnabry, and for Real Madrid, it's Camavinga on for Diaz. Incidentally, that game I was mentioning, the Club World Cup quarter-final defeat to Paris Saint-Germain, was the last competitive game that Bayern Munich didn't score a goal in. It was a 2-0 defeat that day in New Jersey. And since then, every game this season, they have scored at least one goal. It's an incredibly talented squad at his disposal, Vincent Kompany, it must be said. So much so that they made 7 changes at the weekend, albeit away to relegation threatened St. Pauli, but still 7 changes, and to come away with a 5-0 win just goes to show you the depth they have, and Bayern are on the brink of retaining that Bundesliga title. They're 12 clear now of Borussia Dortmund with just 5 games to go, and Dortmund, after losing to Bayer Leverkusen at the weekend, slipping further behind, and perhaps that defeat any faint hopes, I should say, of clawing back the Bayern lead at the top of the table. Have surely now gone up in smoke. There's Alphonso Davies again. Now on the left for Luis Diaz. This game very much still in the balance. Edge of the box now is Olise, Leimer, back to Musiala, and now Upamecano. Apologies, folks. That's a bit of a technical issue on my end there, but we're all resolved now. And again, you haven't missed anything. Don't worry. As Upamecano steers it. Pass back to Neuer with Vinícius bearing down on him. So 65 minutes gone here. And it's as you were at half-time at the Allianz Arena. Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 3, 4-4 on aggregate. Camavinga, the new man, gets himself stuck in there and wins that one ahead of Musiala, the two new men. Lunin clears away for Real Madrid. There's the ball across the edge of the box. Valverde hits one. Valverde, what a save! Manuel Neuer down low to his left there. Federico Valverde. Left-footed strike low and hard there, the Uruguayan. Got through the bodies. Neuer got down well to his left to keep that one out. Here's Kimmich. Upamecano coming forward for Bayern, up over halfway, the big French centre half. We missed a real sitter early in the first leg last week. Granted, with all this, the attacking talent in this Bayern team, he probably wasn't the man you were expecting to be on the end of it, but still, perhaps should have done a bit better, but that's certainly a bygone now. Here's Davies for Bayern. Midway inside the Real Madrid half. Now Kimmich, everything brought down to a bit of a walk-in pace really for the first time tonight. Olise to Pavlovic. 1-2 between Olise and Pavlovic. Now onto the left-hand side for Diaz. Faced up there by Valverde. Now Davies. Back to Diaz. Olise, Davies threatens to run in behind, but he strays offside, so Diaz plays it to Kimmich, and now Upamecano. Bayern keeping possession here, and Real Madrid just frustrating them, but Bayern are patient on the ball. Olise skips away from Camavinga. Lovely bit of skill from Olise to find Musiala. Now Pavlovic on the edge of the box. Oh, and Davies slips just at the wrong moment. Valverde wins it back, but Diaz is in there. Now let's go drop for Musiala. Well run back by Diaz off Camavinga. Davies threatens the ball across, gets it to Musiala instead. Good footwork, Musiala. Deflection comes to Olise. Right corner of the penalty area, has Leimer with him. Works on this left foot. Olise! Oh, just with a bar. He had Lunin stretching for that one. In fact, Lunin might even got a touch. It came off somebody. It's a corner for Bayern Munich. Let's have a look at this one again. I think he gets a touch off Arda Güler on the way through. And Lunin has to tip it over the bar too. So initially it was a lovely bit of skill from Olise to flick the ball between Bellingham and Camavinga. And then he works a bit of space onto that left foot, and he's so dangerous when he does that. And he forces a brilliant save from Lunin over the bar. But it's Kimmich now to take this corner. Another right-footed in-swinger. 68 minutes gone here at the Allianz Arena. Just over 20 minutes to find a winner in normal time for either of these sides. Kimmich short to Olise. Out to Davies, drills one in there, away by Bellingham. Comes back out to Davies in the edge of the box. Davies hits one himself, blocked again and away. And Vinícius tries to set Mbappe away, but Pavlovic reads it well. And then Leimer will just steer it back to Neuer, who's come out midway inside his own half. So, Real Madrid defend that corner well, but back at it come Bayern, but a uncharacteristically loose pass from Michael Olise is picked off by Jude Bellingham. So in our other Champions League quarter-final, second leg at the Emirates. Last time I checked it was Arsenal 0, Sporting 0, and it still is. 74 minutes gone there, so Arsenal holding a slender 1-0 lead from the first leg in Lisbon. And so far there's been no change there, but plenty of change here. It's all happened in the first half. We played just come up on 25 minutes in this second half. We've had no movement from where we were at the break, and this game is getting more and more tense as we approach the latter stages here, as these two sides both try to avoid Champions League quarter-final exits for the second year in a row. Kane, the Musiala, who collides with Güler there, and I think Güler was looking for the free kick, but in the end it goes away of Bayern. Oh no, I think the referee has actually changed his mind there. Musiala's been booked indeed. Is it Güler on the ground? I think that's who it is. Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, well, Musiala's caught Güler there with an elbow. The two of them got tangled, and initially Slavko Vincic gave the free kick to Bayern. Musiala tried to play it. But the referee then changed his mind. I don't know if it's the actual act of catching Arda Güler with the elbow that caught Musiala the yellow card, or whether it was his protest, but either way, the Bayern sub has been booked by our Slovenian official, as has Antonio Rudiger for what, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not quite sure, but it's a booking for Real Madrid's German centre half. So, in actual fact, after all of that, it was a Bayern free kick the whole time. Musiala was booked for playing the ball too quickly. So, that looked like a Real Madrid free kick to me. I thought he caught Güler with an elbow, but anyway, on we go. Mendy has won it back anyway, and he's played a nice ball down the channel that Mbappe gets to for Ta. Left corner of the penalty, Mbappe on his right foot, on his left foot into the penalty, 6-yard box, cuts it back, cross goal. Oh, Vinícius can't finish, and Upamecano scrambles it away before Bellingham can get there. Comes to Camavinga, drills one in low, blocked by Upamecano and away. Valverde cushions it down for Güler, but picked off by Elise midway inside his own half. Upamecano has Bellingham behind him, so he gets it away to Kane. Kane now plays it down the left for Luis Diaz. Is opening up again here. Diaz taking on Eder Militao into the penalty area. Luis Diaz on his right foot, blocked by Rudiger, and Diaz will get to it before Alexander Arnold. So Bayern still have it just outside the penalty area here. Diaz has support now from Kimmich, and plenty more red shirts are forward. Kane, Davies, left corner of the penalty area, back to Kane. Olise. End-to-end stuff there. Now here's Upamecano again, midway inside the Real Madrid half. Rolls it back to Ta. Kimmich, was he caught late by Bellingham? Notices the referee, but Bayern still have it. Olise, right-hand touchline, puts his head down, approaches the right corner of the penalty area. In there for Leimer in space. Leimer cuts it back and away by Eder Militao, who just side-foots it out for a throw-in on the right-hand side for Bayern, and Leimer edge 18-yard box. No messing around from Olise, gets it going quickly, and then gets it back from Kimmich on the right-hand touchline. The red and white flags and scarves and the Sud Curva here at the Allianz Arena are just a wonderful sight to behold. Upamecano, that end and the whole rest of the Allianz Arena will explode here if Bayern were to get a goal that would put them back in front on aggregate. Musiala, Kimmich, heavy touch unlike him, but he holds off Vinícius and gets it back to Upamecano, around 35 yards from goal, out onto the right now for Olise. Good challenge by Güler, throw in the Bayern again. Olise is ready to go again. There's a couple of Bayern subs down there. They're acting as ball boys, getting that back quickly. Kimmich throws it into Olise. Now Kimmich, midway inside the Real Madrid half. Finds Pavlovic. Davies. Kimmich back to Pavlovic. Now midway inside the Real Madrid half still is Kimmich. Things slowing down slightly here for Kimmich. Davies is making runs, but Kimmich ignores him and is sort of running himself into the circle here, and goes back to Pavlovic and Ta in the centre circle. So Joshua Kimmich there, a little bit lost on the ball, but Bayern keep it. Olise, oh, lovely flick again from Olise. Sends Leimer away down the right-hand side. Can he get past Rudiger? No, he can't. That's a foul by Antonio Rudiger. And as I mentioned, it's just been booked, so he needs to be careful, but it's going to be okay for now. I think Joshua Kimmich is just trying to remind Slavko Vincic about that there. It's just it's typical, just stepping across Konrad Leimer as he tries to get past him. Another lovely bit of skill from Michael Olise. Not for the first time tonight. The Frenchman has just been electric, as he has been all season, but his side are still very much locked horns here with Real Madrid. Still 4-4 on aggregate, but he's going to take this free kick out on the left touchline, a couple of yards in. Around 30 yards out. In it comes off a great one. Oh, and it's headed over the top by Upamecano. What a delivery by Olise. And Upamecano screams his frustration into the Munich night sky. Oh, he's got to be doing better there. What a delivery from Olise. Upamecano gets up above Camavinga, but heads it off the stanchion and away. And that maybe should have been a moment there for Bayern, but the big French defender just can't divert his header on the goal. We're now into the last quarter of an hour here at the Allianz Arena. You're just seeing the live Champions League quarter-final second leg action here. It's Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 3, 4-4 on aggregate. All those goals coming in a breathtaking first half. This second half has certainly been a bit more tense, but not without action. There's the loose pass from Eder Militao. There's a throw into Bayern on the left on the halfway line. Both Real Madrid centre halves, worth noting, have been booked. Both Eder Militao and Antonio Rudiger. They have defensive options on the bench. They've got both David Alaba and Dean Housen on the bench, who can both play centre half. Perhaps if Alvaro Arbeloa doesn't want to risk going down to 10 men. So the rest of that Real Madrid, those benches. So for Bayern, they've already brought on Jamal Musiala and Alphonso Davies. That leaves Jonas Urbeck, the goalkeeper, Kim Min-jae, Leon Goretzka, Nicholas Jackson, Hiroki Ito, Rafael Guerrero and Erblin Osmani. And for Real Madrid, they have two goalkeepers in Fran and Javier Navarro. They've already brought on Eduardo Camavinga here. As now into the corner after it goes Leimer. More on that in a minute. Olise dummies a pass to Musiala. Runs into a bit of trouble here, but holds off Camavinga. He's so strong on the ball, Michael Olise. But now here's Pavlovic, midway inside the Real Madrid half. Out to the left for Harry Kane lurks. Kane was going to deliver a ball deep. A diagonal one to find Olise in the right corner of the penalty area. Olise cuts on this left foot along the edge of the box. Can't let him do that. Can't let him do that. Oh, it's deflected over the bar again. Michael Olise, he's so dangerous when he starts doing that, when he starts sort of crabbing his way along the edge of the penalty area on that left foot. You really cannot let him get a shot away. And in the end, I thought that one took a nick on the way through, but no. Just curled it on and rippled the roof of the net on the way over there from Olise. So close. That Real Madrid bench then, they've got Dani Carvajal, David Alaba, Eduardo Camavinga's already on. They've Gonzalo Garcia, Alvaro Carreras, Dani Ceballos, Fran Garcia, Dean Housen, Franco Mastratono and Thiago Pitas for Alvaro Arbeloa to select from as we go into the last 13 minutes now here at the Allianz Arena. Still Arsenal 0, Sporting 0 there into the last 10 minutes there at the Emirates Stadium. Musiala gets away from Güler and is dragged to the ground by Camavinga. That's a rugby style tackle, and indeed he's going to be booked as well. So both Musiala and Camavinga, who joined us around the hour mark, have now been booked. That's about as straightforward a yellow card as they come there for the French international midfielder. This is a bit of an awkward range for free kick, I will say. It's about 35 yards out, fairly central. Joshua Kimmich standing over. Arda Güler, of course, curled a free kick into the top corner at this end in the first half, but he was a good bit closer to the goal than this. Kimmich dinks it over the top. Good header away by Militao as Tao tried to get in behind there. Both Kimmich and Mbappe end up in a heap on the ground, and Slavko Vincic has eventually given the free kick there to Real Madrid, much to the home fans' disgust here. And Mbappe has actually stayed down there after that collision with Joshua Kimmich, and the referee will signal to bring the medical staff on here. It's I think that's a harsh one on Kimmich. I think Mbappe slips as he goes to the ball, and that means Kimmich falls over the top of him rather than anything else, but a free kick it is to Real Madrid nonetheless. So, in case you missed it, we had a stunning first half of football. It started with a goal in 40 seconds by Arda Güler when Manuel Neuer, so uncharacteristically gifted in the ball 35 yards from goal, and he finished it superbly. Alexander Pavlovic leveled just 5 minutes later with a close range header from a corner before Güler curled a free kick, a beautiful free kick into the top corner on the half-hour mark. Harry Kane, of course, he'll be among the goals, finishing clinically from inside the box before Kylian Mbappe played in one-on-one. Probably the only man in world football who can contend with Harry Kane for his clinical ability. Finishing one-on-one just before the break. Now Mbappe has gone to the sideline after getting a bit of treatment, but he's going to come back on here think if even Mbappe was on one leg, he would be coming back on. There's no doubt about that. As Lunin will take the free kick and Mbappe is released back onto the pitch. Vinícius will chase it into the corner. Leimer goes with him. Lets it bounce out for a throw in deep in his own territory on the right hand side. We're into the last 10 minutes here now at the Allianz Arena. 10 minutes for someone to find a winner, or else this last 8 tie between two of European and world football's heavyweights will go to extra time. Davies to Kimmich. Musiala, midway inside the Real Madrid half on the left. He's ran himself into a corner there, Musiala, so he just gets it back to Pavlovic, who then gives it back to Musiala. He then heads infield. Kimmich. Over Meccano. Back to Kimmich again. 1-2 with Leimer. Midway inside the Real Madrid half. Kimmich looks to uncork one of those beautiful passes, but Camavinga read it, but deflects it to Pavlovic. Now Diaz on the left hand side. Diaz infield to Kimmich now, about 30 yards from goal, moving central. Finds Olise, nice flick on for Diaz, but he can't find Musiala. Valverde slides in to divert it away from Davies. Now Pavlovic. Lovely flick again from Olise. I've said that so many times tonight. Leimer finds Diaz. Oh, brilliant work from Eder Militao. And Lunin will come out and claim the loose ball. Eder Militao has gone to ground there, but he's okay. He's back to his feet. Brilliant defensive work there from the Brazilian centre half. Great ball from Konrad Leimer, looking for Luis Diaz, who did get a touch on it, but Eder Militao heading it up into the air, and Andre Lunin came and mopped up the extras. Right, Militao back to Lunin. You wonder, we had Lunin didn't cover himself in glory for Alexander Pavlovic's goal, and Manuel Neuer made a downright howler for Arda Güler's first. You wonder, will it be an error? Will it be a piece of skill? Will it be a piece of luck that will decide this game tonight? Oh, there's a mistake from Upamecano. An equally one from Vinícius. Heavy touch allows Upamecano to get back at him. Vinícius still has it on the left hand side of the penalty area, but he's really killed the momentum there with that poor touch. He was gifted it by Upamecano, and he wins a throw-in off Bayern's French defender. Loose touch from down Upamecano with Vinícius right on his shoulder, but he too then took a heavy touch that he couldn't quite recover from. But Real Madrid still have possession with Camavinga on the left-hand side, midway inside the Bayern half. Now Valverde. Valverde back to Güler. Steers out right for Alexander Arnold, in line with the edge of the 18-yard box. Rolls it back in for Eder Militao, and now Ferland Mendy. 1-2 with Vinícius. Rudiger. Eder Militao, midway inside the Bayern half. Out onto that right-hand side for Alexander Arnold. Inside for Mbappe. Alexander Arnold again on the right-hand side. Curls in a good cross. It's just outside from Bellingham. Kimmich gets it away, and Pavlovic helps it on his way further. Camavinga beats Musiala to it now, though. And there's Valverde on the right hand side for Alexander Arnold. Poor delivery from the Englishman, and his fellow countryman Harry Kane is back to deal with that one defensively. But Harry Kane's in a bit of trouble here under pressure, and Arda Güler gets it away to Pavlovic, who then gets it back to Neuer, who clears. Good work there from Bayern, and that looks like a foul to me. Indeed it is. Slavko Vincic agrees. Eder Militao has fouled Luis Diaz, and Real Madrid centre half needs to be careful. Into the last 5 minutes of normal time here at the Allianz Arena. We're approaching last chance saloon here for both of these sides to try and stop this one from going to extra time. Now here's Diaz. Diaz takes on Alexander Arnold, gets to the byline. Good challenge by Alexander Arnold. Breaks for Kane. Blocked by Camavinga. Lunin's on the ground. Rudiger gets it away from Musiala. And there's a free kick on the edge of the box. Kimmich is adjudged to a foul of Güler. That was a big chance there for Bayern and Harry Kane. A good block by Camavinga, and then with Lunin, he had already committed to make the save, and the ball was loose, and Rudiger had to beat Musiala to it. Free kick Now on the edge of the box, which Andre Lunin, all in light blue, the Real Madrid goalkeeper will take it. His opposite number, Manuel Neuer, in a light green number this evening. And Lunin will send that one long into the Bavarian night sky. Abacos flicked on well there by Bellingham. Pavlovic though gets to the loose ball, and Davies now gives it to Kimmich on the edge of their own box, and Davies deep in a left back position there, has to twist and turn away from Bellingham and does really well. He's so quick, Alphonso Davies too. He just sprints into trouble, and then Harry Kane gets fouled by Eduardo Camavinga midway inside his own half, and that will really ease the pressure valve there on Bayern. I think Harry Kane is looking for a yellow card. Oh, a yellow card for Camavinga. Oh, trouble for Real Madrid. Eduardo Camavinga has been shown a second yellow card. He only come on the hour mark, and on 85 minutes, Eduardo Camavinga's evening is done. I don't know if that's for the foul or as he said something afterwards. Federico Valverde, the Real Madrid captain, is incensed, speaking to Slavko Vinícius, the referee, but Eduardo Camavinga, the only man that Alvaro Arbeloa has brought off the bench so far, has lasted just 25 minutes, and he picks up 2 yellow cards. And now Real Madrid players need to be careful there's not more here, as Slavko Vinícius has brandished the red, and what a big moment late in this one that could be. Real Madrid down to 10 men now for the last 4 minutes plus stoppage time, and potentially more. Here's Alphonso Davies now to Kimmich, and Bayern turn the screw midway inside the Real Madrid half here. I haven't even had a replay yet of that foul. It wasn't a great one, but I didn't think initially it was a yellow. But Kimmich over the top for Leimer. Leimer slips a bit and allows Vinícius back, and Vinícius he gets a foul off of Leimer, who sinks to his knees. He can't believe that's a foul. Yeah, I think he's gesturing to Kylian or to Vinícius Jr., saying you don't think it was a foul either. Camavinga brings Kane to the ground, and it's so silly. Camavinga has not been booked for the foul. He's been booked because he dribbled the ball away to stop Bayern taking the quick free kick, and then threw it as Kimmich tried to get it off him. That is so silly from Eduardo Camavinga, and Real Madrid can complain about that all they want, but that is just so silly from Eduardo Camavinga, and it has put his side really behind the 8 ball going into the latter stages of this one. They still are level in aggregate, but Bayern now have an extra man. It wasn't for the foul at all, it was for the time wasting afterwards from Eduardo Camavinga. And on aggregate, and it's Luis Diaz who scored the opener at the Bernabeu last week, who has surely won it for Bayern. The way this game has gone, I wouldn't rule it out yet, but the Colombian takes in the acclaim of the Allianz Arena. That's a stunning effort from the edge of the box as he curls into the top corner. Vinícius Jr., I think, is applauding him. I don't know whether that's sarcastic or not, but Diaz with a stunner here for Bayern Munich. That is a wonderful goal. Brilliant setup too from Musiala. A lovely little backheel. It takes the ever so slight nick off Eder Militao on the way through. But that's all Luis Diaz as the Allianz Arena erupts. Surely that's the goal to take Bayern Munich into the Champions League semi-finals. Goodness gracious me, what a hit. What a goal.
And the Allianz Arena erupts here this evening. Do Real Madrid have it in them to pull themselves back into this game one more time? That has actually taken us over the 90-minute mark now. We'll see what sort of added time we'll have. There's a sub being made here for Real Madrid. Arda Güler is off. And the young Argentinian, Franco Mastantuono, is on here for stoppage time for Real Madrid. Could he be a hero for Los Blancos? 4 minutes we're into now. And now are Bayern going to go into preservation mode here? That's so dangerous against this Real Madrid side. You have quality all the way through it, and goodness me, have they contributed to this game. Perhaps none more so than the man who's just left the field, Arda Güler, with those 2 first-half goals. But how big of a moment was Eduardo Camavinga's late red card here? A petulant red card, already on a yellow, and he delays the free kick being taken. That's cheeky from Neuer. He dinks it over Jude Bellingham, who slips anyway. And Bayern come away down the left with Davies. To Musiala. To Diaz away down the left again, looking for Elise. Mendy cuts it out, but doesn't quite deal with the danger. Oh, and Elise gives him an out there by fouling him in the box, but that's a minute and a half gone. Actually, Trent Alexander-Arnold has also left the field here for Real Madrid. And he's been replaced by Thiago Pitars. So it's the 2 youngsters on in stoppage time for Real Madrid from Alvaro Arbeloa. That's Franco Mastantuono and Thiago Pitars, who are on here late in place of Trent Alexander-Arnold and Arda Güler. Now here's Vinícius coming down the left for Real Madrid, into the corner, followed out there by Leimer. He goes to ground far too easily, wants the free kick, but instead will get a throw in, which Mastantuono will take here. Or no, he'll leave it in the end for Ferland Mendy to take, and takes up a spot on the edge of the box. Mendy finds him now, midway inside his own half. Mastantuono faced up by Harry Kane. Gets out to the left for Vinícius. Inside for Mbappe, who shimmies away from Musiala. Sends one in, Mbappe, blocked away by Elise. Now can Bayern go on the counter? Do they want to? Kane sends Diaz away down the left. It's a 3-on-2 here. He's got Musiala in the middle. Davies stimming forward. Elise at the back post. That's too long for him. That'll go out for a throw into Real Madrid on their left, midway inside their own half. That's a bit of a waste there, but we've now played almost 3 of the 4 added minutes here at the Allianz Arena, where it is Bayern Munich 3, Real Madrid 3, 5-4 to the hosts on aggregate. What a game this has been, with a stunning late goal to potentially send Bayern into those semi-finals. Arsenal are there. It didn't sound like it was too pretty over at the Emirates. They have drawn 0-0 with Sporting to go through 1-0 on aggregate. A minute to go. Here's a foul by Leimer on Vinícius. The Real Madrid fans up high, up in the rafters here at the Allianz Arena, are looking despondent, but their team are certainly, they're not just drinking in Last Chance Saloon, they are on last orders in Last Chance Saloon here. That ball goes forward, getting there by Pitars, away, headed away. And now here come Bayern again with Diaz. He has Elise ahead of him. Diaz hurdles the challenge of Bellingham. Thinks then for Kane, who's on at the centre circle. And now Elise, midway inside the Real Madrid half, has Mendy in front of him. He's going to attack him. He only knows one way. Michael Elise! Michael Elise! What a stunning way to put the cherry on top. What a goal from Michael Elise. And Bayern aren't just going to win on aggregate. They're going to win on the night as well. It's 4-3 to Bayern. It's 6-4 on aggregate. Do they deserve that lead? Who knows? But Michael Elise has just curled one in with the outside of his foot off the inside of the post. Andre Lunin sits crestfallen in his penalty area. Alvaro Arbeloa looks to the night sky here in Munich. But this one is all over. Real Madrid have been beaten. That's the last kick of the game. Real Madrid have been knocked out of the Champions League quarterfinals for the 2nd year in a row. Bayern Munich march on to the semi-finals on a stunning night here. Vinícius and the Real Madrid players are surrounding the referee for what, I'll be honest, I've no idea. I really don't know what they're doing here. Vinícius Jr. is leading them, as is Jude Bellingham. They're all over around Slavko Vincic. I'm not sure
if there's one particular decision they're annoyed about or what has happened here. But Bayern Munich are into the Champions League semi-finals. They win on the night by 4-3. They go through 6-4 on aggregate. Truly one of the all-time Champions League greats. Jude Bellingham is still going at the official here. Again, for what I'm not honestly sure. Kylian Mbappe is going around shaking the Bayern Munich players' hands. As Vincent Kompany embraces his goalkeeper. There's been a red card shown here, I think, for Arda Güler after the game. I've just seen it there from Slavko Vincic just before he disappears down the tunnel. A real ugly end to that one for Real Madrid. I'm not sure, still not quite sure what exactly they are protesting about, but Bayern have come away here. What a stunning way to finish it. Michael Olise, with the last kick of the game, curls one in off the inside of the post just to put the cherry on top of what has been a stunning game of football between two of European football's heavyweights. Real Madrid took the lead after just 40 seconds through Arda Güler, who curled one into the empty net after being gifted the ball by Manuel Neuer. Alexander Pavlovic equalised just 5 minutes later with a close-range header. Güler again curls a free kick into the top corner. He has been sent off. That's a real shame because he has had such a great night. He was subbed off late in this one and has been shown a red card after full time by our Slovenian official Slavko Vincic. He curled a stunning free kick into the top corner before Harry Kane levelled again on the night and put Bayern 1 goal up on aggregate. However, right on the stroke of half-time, Kylian Mbappe made it 3-2 to Real Madrid and 4-all on aggregate. In the second half, certainly the goals dried up, but the drama didn't. Eduardo Camavinga sent off late for one of the most petulant second yellow cards you'll ever see, and that has ultimately cost his team, as first of all Luis Diaz scored the goal, which will really be the winner, the tie winner from the men from Bavaria, curling one in from the edge of the box after a lovely assist by Jamal Musiala. And then with the last kick of the game, Michael Olise puts the cherry on top by curling one in off the inside of the post. What a night, what a game, truly one of the all-time Champions League great games, and it's been a privilege to bring it to you wherever you've been listening to me in the world here this evening. I'm Mark Strange, delighted to have brought this on with you. I'm off for a bit of a lie down now, I don't know about you. What a night here at the Allianz Arena. It's finished here. Bayern Munich 4, Real Madrid 3. Bayern go through the Champions League semi-finals 6-4 in aggregate.